Hello, children. This is Rachna, and I'm here with yet another video for you based on the aquatic flowers. So, let's get started about them. I'm sure you're going to love these flowers. Well, these are the water lilies. They are really beautiful. You might confuse them with lotus, but they are not lotus. They are the water lilies. Now, water lilies, they are the nymphea, and they are the jewels of the aquatic world. Symbolic in both ancient and modern times, they're celebrated for their beauty and immortalized in art and religion. While most water lilies are grown outdoors, it is possible to grow small varieties of these plants in containers indoors as well. Yeah, they are at times considered as even the lotus, but water lilies are nymphea and the lotus is Nelumbo. Children, this is the lotus. It is called as the sacred lotus. It is called as an Indian lotus, or you could even just simply say lotus. Okay, now as I said, don't confuse the two. Okay, now what is it? It is known as Nelumbo nucifera. Okay, it is one of two extant species of the aquatic plant in the family of Neolambonkia. It is often colloquially called a water lily, though if you look at the two, there is a very slight difference in. Now, children, like I said, there is a slight difference between the two, so you shouldn't be really getting confused about them. See, both are plant blooming, pond blooming plants that emerge from rhizomes and share a very rich color palette. But there are a few ways to tell them apart. Water lily flowers and leaves are thick and waxy, while the lotus are thin and papery. The lotus prefers to grow in, up to 12 inches in water, and water lilies, they grow up to 2 to 5 feet. So this is the major difference between the two of them, and you can compare the two. So you don't really have to actually get confused between the two of them. Now what you see here is a pond full of the water poppy, or you could even call it the Hydrochelys nymphoides. Okay, now this is an aquatic plant species in the Alismaticia. It is widespread across South America, also in Central America, Puerto Rico, Trinidad, and the Netherlands. So this is really a very, very beautiful flower. These are the water hawthorn, and it is also called as Aponogeton distachios. Besides, the Cape pondweed, water hawthorn, or vacos, it is an aquatic flowering plant. Now these are really pretty. Children, they are called as the water lettuce. Now, I would like you all to understand that lettuce leaves are different. The ones that we can eat, they are a little different. Okay, whereas these are a little more different to look at. They're just you know, Pistia, it is a genus of the aquatic plant in the arum family, Archaea. The single species it comprises, Pistia stratios. It is often called the water cabbage or the water lettuce. Now, I request you to not confuse the two of them, because the lettuce leaves that we generally eat are very different to these. Actually, they have a more uh, thin coating, and they don't flower, they don't bloom like this. Some of them do, but not all. Children, this is the watercress or the yellow cress. It is a species of the aquatic flowering plant in the cabbage family. Okay, now this is the Brassicaea. It's a botanical name, Nasturtium offinicale. Now, watercress, it is a rapidly growing perennial plant native to Europe and Asia. It is one of the oldest known leaf vegetable which is consumed by humans. Okay, we have many of its relatives, which are garden cress, mustard, radish, and wasabies. They are noteworthy of their piquant flavors. They have hollow stems which float in the water. Now, the duckweeds, the genus Lemna and related genera of the duckweed family, are the smallest flowering plants known. The individual plants, they consist of a single flat oval leaf, which is like technically a modified stem, no more than 1/4 of an inch long, that floats on the surface of still moving ponds, lakes, and slugs. Okay, so the water lentils or the water lenses, like I said, they float on just on or just beneath the surface of still or slow moving bodies of water and wetlands. It looks so pretty, so beautiful. You see, these are the Japanese iris. The term Japanese iris encompasses 3 species of iris which is cultivated in gardens or growing wild in Japan. Okay, now of these 3 species, that is the Iris insata, Iris levigata, and the Iris sanguina. The insta is the one most commonly referred to as Japanese iris outside Japan. Now, doesn't this look like a tail? You see, that is the reason why it's called as a lizard's tail, just because of the look of it. Okay, now Psoriasis acerinus is a medicinal and ornamental plant native to eastern North America. It grows in wet areas or shallow waters and can be up to about a meter tall. Now, in this you can actually see a number of these lizard tails growing. So basically, when you look at a huge lot of them growing, this is the way they look. Well, with this we come to the end of this video, and I hope you really like these flowers. Actually, frankly speaking, when you see a lot of flowers around, you feel so nice. You feel really happy, isn't it? And especially, because of the kind of the color palette that they spread around, and they make the ambience a whole lot more beautiful, isn't it? So, well, with this we come to the end, and I just request you all to please be safe, take very, very good care of yourself, do a lot of breathing exercises, and also drink a lot of water.